judge, why don't we? Fox News senior judicial analyst Judge Andrew Napolitano is on set now. Judge, is this just all politics, or is there more to it?
No, there's actually a constitutional clash here, and the Supreme Court resolved it in a very famous case called United States versus Nixon, which the president's documents had been subpoenaed, and he refused to comply with the subpoena. So the first question is, were the conversations about the documents intended to advise the president on his duties as president? I mean, if they're talking about the Yankees, that's not going to be covered by executive privilege. But if they're talking about something that they intend to use to formulate advice to the president, it could be covered. The second inquiry is this advice about a military secret, a diplomatic secret, or a sensitive national security secret? Those are the only three categories of permissible executive privilege. If it doesn't fall into one of those three categories, and admittedly it's difficult to find how this gun-running thing could be military, diplomatic, or national security, then the privilege doesn't apply. Think about it. A privilege is the right of the president to keep the truth from the courts or from the Congress. And Congress has the right to look for the truth, and the courts have the right to look for the truth. So the circumstances under which you can stop the truth from moving forward are understandably narrow.
We've made it clear here before, and it's worth reiterating, presidents do this. The last one did it, the one before that, the one before that. Well, this is the first time this one's done it.
President Bush did it 6 times, and 4 of those were overturned by judges who said, let me hear the testimony in secret, let me look at the documents in secret, and I'll decide if the privilege applies. 4 times the judge decided they didn't apply. That might happen here. It won't happen before Election Day, which is probably what the Republicans would prefer, but if they continue to push this, if the president is reelected, it could be addressed a year from now.
But then under any and all circumstances, it would go before a U.S. judge.
Go before a federal judge in Washington, D.C., just as did the challenges to President George W. Bush's assertion of the privilege.
But this matter of holding him in contempt, it doesn't end with the House. We then have to go to the judicial branch.
Now you're talking about, yes, correct, Shep. Now you're talking about a different matter. The House would have to vote, the full House, not just this committee, to hold him in contempt. And then a federal prosecutor, and Eric Holder's the chief of the federal prosecutors, a federal prosecutor would have to seek an indictment, get an indictment, and prosecute him in the same courthouse in which Roger Clemens was just prosecuted for contempt.
We shall see. Judge, thank you.